this video, I'm going to be clarifying every single storyline or plot line up to the Absolute Power series. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We talk about comic books and stuff. And this is the preload to Absolute Power. Starting off, we're going to begin our story with Green Arrow, the traitor. We see him living with Black Canary. Matter of fact, his whole family, they were on the island called Arrow Island. And everyone was happy. Everyone was comfortable. But he wasn't, because he had made a choice that would define him for years to come. He had joined Waller, and that night he left. The next morning when his wife woke up, Black Canary was dressed up, looking for Ollie, checking all over the house. She found no sign of him. The family was busy having breakfast, and she came through, asking a simple question: where is Oliver? But nobody had seen him all morning. Oliver was at the Hall of Justice, which had recently been acquired by the government, meaning Amanda Waller, and he was clearing it out because he doesn't believe in the Justice League anymore. So much so, he gave Amanda Waller sanctuary, and that is a no-no. For those of you who don't know, sanctuary was like a therapy system for the Justice League. It has a lot of information, especially information on the weakness of League members, psychologically, I mean. But at this moment, his family members were breaking into Belle Rev North. They were trying to break someone out. And we see Red Arrow and his daughter breaking into the prison to release none other than Cheshire herself. For those of you who want Young Justice, yes, this is Leon, Cheshire's kid, and they were here to break her out, but this was still a prison. They had to move quickly. The guards were already en route, but the thing is, this was Cheshire, Red Arrow, and Leon. They kick ass as a family, and they were good, knocking everyone out. Even Cheshire was having the time of her life with her daughter. Running down the corridor, they saw a window, and Cheshire made sure to give him a kiss, saying, "Thank you for saving me." Waiting for his family to escape, Red Arrow was the last, but before he could jump, he was stopped by a rope on his waist. Who stopped him? Well, Green Arrow, of course, and right now, he made it clear that he was no longer Green Arrow. He was no longer a billionaire playboy. He was just a man with principles, and he doesn't believe in the League anymore. Red Arrow tried to convince him, telling him, "Come with me. Let's talk to Batman. Let's talk to Superman. They are your friends." But he didn't care, and Red Arrow could tell by the look on his face he had no regrets, because at that moment, he did the unthinkable. He kicked Red Arrow out of the building without a rope. He fell to his death. But thankfully, his family was there to hold him. But he definitely would have died. When Peacemaker found out, he was like, "Did you let them go?" But Green Arrow just tossed him to the wall because he was loyal. When the family found out, they were questioning what they would do next. But half of them wanted to go chase him. Half of them didn't know what to do. And just like that, they found out Superman was shot, falling from the sky. The Man of Steel had lost his abilities, and Connor Hawke made the decision that if his father was no longer Green Arrow, he would be. Just like Damian was supposed to be Batman, he was destined to be Green Arrow. And that is the conclusion of the Green Arrow storyline. Now, let's head to the Flash, because we know the Flash is the most powerful of the DC heroes, at least the most lethal. And Waller decided to take him on head on because she had acquired Batman's Justice Buster armor. The Flash actually didn't take it seriously because he was positive he could beat this armor, but inside of it was piloted by Green Arrow himself, making every decision guided by the PC on how to contain the Flash. It was really very effective, with every hit connecting. He never missed one attack. But the thing is, the Flash was still trying to figure out who this person was, while Green Arrow just wanted to take him down. With every attack, he was trying to disconnect him from the Speed Force, but Barry was so connected, he just decided to take off. And Green Arrow wasn't letting him. With his perfect aim, he launched a harpoon directly into the Flash's arm. The Flash was not going to stop. He kept running and running at high speeds, dragging the gigantic armor behind him. And then he stopped, phasing out of the bind, causing the armor to slingshot into a warehouse. The Flash had put the armor on its back. But Green Arrow, now wearing a mask, decided to still keep fighting. But the thing is, Flash brought him here for a reason, because he had called his family here. In a nanosecond, the armor was brought to its knees. The Flashes were just too powerful, especially when they were together. So, the only option was to run away. Amanda Waller sent a rocket to pick up Green Arrow, because all this was a test. She just wanted to see the effectiveness of the armor. And now she was sure as hell that she had to find another means to take them down. And that is the conclusion of the Flash's storyline. Now you will see the birth of the cancer that was going to destroy Earth's heroes. Because this was the story of Superman and his family battling against the forces of Brainiac. We continue with Brainiac in the middle of a battlefield filled with the corpses of Lobo's race. For those of you who don't know, you want me to cover the battle between the House of El versus the forces of Brainiac. But for now, they were all dead. Brainiac had put them into his army as a literal force against the Kryptonian, but now he just sucked them all of their life force to feed his queen, and she was deadly. He had a plan for her to go to Earth and decimate their forces, feeding on the sheer metahuman abilities of every superpowered individual to power herself and conquer the galaxy. And they had Superman dead to rights, but they must have forgotten he came here with Lobo. Brainiac was not moved. What possible harm can you do to me? But Lobo wasn't stupid. He knew to do this, he needed Superman. So he broke him from his binds and he shook his hand. Brainiac simply said, "Attack, my queen, kill them all." And she went up against him and the entire super family. But he wanted to feed her more juice. So he got Lex Luthor's daughter, growing her to a normal height and feeding her directly into the machine. She cried in pain. "Please, it hurts." But Brainiac didn't care. All this was for his queen. But when Superman is involved, there is always hope, because from one punch, Superboy destabilized the whole machine, cutting up the supply of power to the queen. And with that, she lost her abilities and she shrunk. Brainiac, moving quickly, caught her before she could hit the ground, and Superman said, "This is over, stop this." But Brainiac didn't stop. He attacked Superman. Bad idea. He kept screaming at Superman, "This is all your fault. You know nothing. I am smarter than all of you combined. This is your death." Before he could even finish his monologue, his descendants and his children and future children came forth because he summoned them from across the worlds. Even Brainiac's wife told him to chill out. But this wasn't enough to stop Brainiac, so Superman and Lex Luthor had to work together to shut him down from the inside, because like Ultron, he is undying except you take out the brain. Lex Luthor made the choice to go in and destroy Brainiac and save his kid, while Superman, Lobo, and the Super Family faced off against Brainiac. Two battles were fought on different fronts. Lex Luthor and his daughter fought in the mind, while Superman and his family fought outside. Brainiac didn't give up though, trying to revive his queen and at the same time locked in combat with Superman, but Superman was not backing down. He had to buy time for Lex Luthor. So he led his family of House of El to battle against the forces of Brainiac, while Lex Luthor delivered the final blow to Brainiac's mind, short-circuiting Brainiac on the outside, including freeing his family from his thrall. Now they were free, cut off from Brainiac. They could make their own choices, and because the brain was the ship itself, it was going up in flames. A choice had to be made to leave. Brainiac's children watched their father, their predecessor, on the floor begging, losing his mind. Literally, he was losing his intelligence, and he begged them for help, but they simply just left him. He was a disappointment. He chose to attack them, but Superman was never going to let that happen. "You brought this on yourself. You sacrificed worlds. Why?" All Brainiac could say was, "I needed your power." And at this moment, we see with a reduced intelligence, Brainiac was starting to feel. Brainiac had emotions. He told Superman to go save his people, and Superman did what Superman does. He went to go save his people. Brainiac, on the other hand, he saved his queen. He did a freaking Kryptonian thing and put her body in an escape capsule, sending her off to space, saying to her, "You are the best of me, and I know your story isn't over." And just like that, Brainiac died, with his queen surviving. Back on Earth, the Super Family was back. The family of Brainiac, well, they were in space because they had a new home to call their own. Lobo and Superman's friendship became closer because both of them were the last of their race. And Superman, well, he had his wifey waiting for him, and he embraced her with a big hug. Just like that, everything was back to normal. or almost normal, because Lex Luthor came through and Superman tried to spark a conversation. But Lex was different. Connecting to Brainiac had fried his mind. And that brings us to the end of the Superman storyline. Now, a quick honorable mention. The revival of Failsafe. With the help of Time Master, Amanda Waller had revived her greatest supporter, Failsafe, a Batman's mind in an Amazo body, Jesus Christ. Now, the most important part of this whole video, the raising of the Queen Brainiac. Because as she escaped the exploding Brainiac ship, she landed on Earth and into the hands of Amanda Waller. Failsafe, with a quick scan, realized that she was blank. She knew nothing of the world, but she was the most advanced piece of technology ever seen. And with that, Amanda Waller took her as her own. When the Queen finally awoken, she was in a bed, confused, shocked. Where am I? She jumped out of the bed. The first thing she saw was Amanda Waller in normal clothes, raising her as a daughter. Before they could even have a conversation, though, Superman attacked, demanding the Queen be put in his custody. But Amanda Waller simply just pulled out a blaster and roasted him alive, telling her, "I will protect you." We see years go by and she did the same thing, teach her and train her, convince her, shape her into the weapon she wants her to become, convincing her that the Justice League was pure evil, showing her how to fight them, showing her their weaknesses, using the Sanctuary program and some other VR programs to help. And on the 9th year, she decided, the best way to solve this is to take their abilities. And we see 10 years have passed, and finally it was time to leave this place. Looking at Amanda Waller, she made the comment that we could stay here, we are safe here. But Amanda Waller was a woman of pure and utter focus. She said, no way. There are people out there that need us to save them, and so we shall. When you leave here, focus on my voice. And we see that all this was a simulation, a 20-hour simulation for 20 years. But now she was back, and the mission must continue. Failsafe made it clear that he wants to run a few more tests, but Amanda Waller knows her daughter. Standing in front of a chamber waiting for her to return, she called to her, saying, "Come to me, my daughter." And we see the Queen was here, fully realized and ready for action. And Amanda Waller smiled, saying, "Of course, my dear. Let us go." And that is the full prelude for the event that is about to blow our minds, the Absolute Power Saga. If you're like me, you're wondering, why does Amanda Waller hate the hero so much? Well, we're going to find out, and I hope she regrets this.